The massive alien ship hung in Earth's orbit like a polished stone, its surface reflecting the blue and white swirls of the planet below. Inside the United Earth Government building, Jack Wilson straightened his tie and took a deep breath. Today was humanity's big day, first official contact with the Galactic Council. "Remember, just smile and be polite," said Director Moore, patting Jack's shoulder. 300 species in this council. We need to make friends, not enemies." Jack nodded. As a mid-level diplomat, he hadn't expected to be in the room for such a historic meeting, but a stomach bug had taken out their lead negotiator. Now it was up to him. The aliens entered the conference room in a parade of colors, shapes, and sizes. Some floated, others crawled, and a few looked almost human. The head diplomat, a tall blue-skinned being called Ambassador Krell, stepped forward. "Earth representatives," Krell said through a translator device, "we welcome you to the galactic community. We have watched your development with great interest." The meeting started well. They discussed trade, technology sharing, and cultural exchange. Then came lunch. Jack bit into his sandwich and noticed Krell staring with all four of his eyes. "Is something wrong?" Jack asked. "You just consumed dead animal tissue mixed with plant matter and chemicals," Krell said, "without any processing or neutralizing." Jack looked at his ham sandwich. "It's just lunch." The alien delegation whispered among themselves. One of them checked a device and looked alarmed. "Your species consumes almost anything," Krell said. "You eat plants that would poison others, animals that would cause disease. You drink fermented liquids for pleasure. You breathe oxygen, a corrosive gas. How is this possible?" Jack shrugged. "We're adaptable, I guess." The whispers grew louder. Another alien, a small red creature, spoke up. "Your planet records show you've survived ice ages, plagues, and nuclear accidents. Your fiction is filled with stories about fighting each other and surviving apocalypses." "Well, we've had a rough history," Jack admitted, "but we're peaceful now." "You call this peaceful?" A third alien projected images of extreme sports, boxing matches, and action movies. "Your idea of entertainment is simulated danger and violence." The meeting quickly went downhill. The aliens asked about human warfare capabilities, resource consumption, and expansion plans. Every honest answer seemed to make them more nervous. Finally, Krell stood up. "We must confer with the full council." The aliens left, and Jack turned to Director Moore. "Did I say something wrong?" 3 days later, they had their answer. The full Galactic Council, meeting in emergency session, had voted 287 to 13 to declare humanity a dangerous, unpredictable species and a threat to galactic stability. They demanded Earth's immediate surrender and disarmament. Jack stood in the same conference room, now facing a screen showing Krell and dozens of other alien representatives. "You're declaring war on us?" Jack asked, scratching his head. "Over a lunch meeting? Your casual attitude toward danger, your biological adaptability, and your rapid technological progress make you too unpredictable," Krell explained. "The Council has voted. Prepare your planet for occupation or face destruction." Jack looked at Director Moore, who seemed equally confused. Jack turned back to the screen and did the only thing that felt natural. He shrugged. "Well, that's unfortunate," he said. "We were hoping to be friends." The aliens on screen fell silent, clearly expecting tears or panic or pleas for mercy. Jack's calm response and casual shrug seemed to disturb them even more than his lunch habits. You don't understand the seriousness of this declaration," Krell sputtered. Jack smiled politely. "I guess we'll talk again when you're ready to be reasonable." The transmission ended, and Earth received its first interstellar declaration of war. No one on Earth seemed particularly worried. Humans had been preparing for alien invasions in movies and books for centuries. They just didn't expect the aliens would be scared of a sandwich. Admiral Kate Foster stared at the holographic display, showing the Galactic Council's armada. Thousands of warships were gathering at the edge of our solar system. By all measures, Earth should be panicking. So they have better weapons, faster ships, and about 50 times our numbers, she said, taking a sip of coffee. But they've never fought humans before. The military leaders around the table nodded. General Harris pulled up Earth's defensive capabilities, a few hundred ships, orbital platforms, and colony defenses. We're outmatched, he said, but we have advantages they don't understand. Kate smiled. Exactly. They expect us to fight like them, by the book. But humans don't use just one book. 3 days later, Kate's plan was in motion. Cargo ships were fitted with mining lasers. Civilian shuttles carried strange modifications. Factory workers built makeshift weapons. But most importantly, life on Earth continued almost normally. On the Galactic Council's command ship, war strategist Dole pounded his tentacle on the table. I don't understand. Our declaration was 7 Earth days ago. Why aren't they surrendering? He gurgled to his officers. Our scans show humans watching sports competitions, having parties, and even taking vacations. His assistant played footage of a beach in Australia. Humans swam in shark-infested waters without concern. Children built sand castles as massive council ships passed overhead. Perhaps they don't understand the gravity of their situation, an officer suggested. No, said council scientist Rem, entering with a data pad. I've been studying human history. They understand war all too well. She displayed images of human battles throughout history. They've been fighting each other for thousands of years. Their entire development is shaped by conflict. Dole's skin paled. Are you saying they're good at war? I'm saying war is in their DNA, Rem replied. And there's something else. Look at these scans of Earth communication channels. The screen showed encrypted signals bouncing between Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies. They're planning something, Dole said. Delay the attack. We need more information. Back on Earth, Thomas Reed, a former mining engineer, supervised as workers attached thrusters to an asteroid. Will this actually work? Asked his assistant. Thomas grinned. Probably not how they expect. We're not trying to win battles. We're making ourselves too annoying to fight. Across the planet, humans prepared in their own unique ways. In old missile silos, programmers wrote viruses designed to confuse alien navigation. In university labs, scientists studied captured alien technology, finding weaknesses. In garages and workshops, mechanics built strange devices that made no sense until you understood human thinking. At the main Earth Defense Station, Admiral Kate met with her officers. Their mistake, she said, pointing to the Council fleet, is thinking we'll fight a normal war. But there's nothing humans do better than breaking the rules. What if they attack with everything at once? Asked a young officer. They could glass our planet from orbit. They won't, Kate said confidently. I've studied their history. The Council builds consensus. They debate. They follow protocols. By the time they decide to destroy us completely, we'll have changed the game. She pulled up a map of the solar system with hundreds of small dots representing human ships, stations, and hidden surprises. We've moved our game pieces. Now we wait for them to make their first move. On the Council command ship, Dole received a message that made his tentacles curl in confusion. It was a transmission from Earth, an invitation to a diplomatic dinner, as if no war had been declared. Attached was a weather report, advising Council ships to avoid Jupiter's moons due to an unexpected solar storm. They're mocking us, an officer said. No, Dole replied, his strategic mind finally understanding. They're playing a different game entirely. He ordered a small fleet to attack Earth's Mars colony. It was time to see what humans really had planned. Neither side realized that the galaxy's strangest war had only just begun. The Galactic Council's attack fleet moved toward Mars like a swarm of metal insects. 50 warships, each carrying enough firepower to level a city, approached the red planet with perfect formation. On Mars Colony's defense station, Thomas Reed watched the incoming fleet on his screen and took a bite of his sandwich. "They're right on time," he said to the room of miners, scientists, and the few actual soldiers who made up Mars' Defense Force. Everyone remembered the plan. A woman in a lab coat raised her hand. "Run around like crazy people and make no sense." Thomas grinned. "Exactly." The Council Fleet Commander's voice boomed through their communication system. "Humans of Mars Colony, surrender immediately or be destroyed. You have 10 minutes to lower your shields." Thomas pressed the reply button. "Actually, we don't have shields, but we do have a nice light show prepared for you." Before the confused alien could respond, Thomas gave the signal. Across the Martian surface, hundreds of mining lasers, originally designed to cut through rock, fired into the sky at the alien ships. The beams weren't powerful enough to cause serious damage, but they temporarily blinded the ship's sensors. "What are they doing?" asked the Council commander as his screens filled with static. "These aren't military weapons." His confusion grew as his sensors detected hundreds of small objects rising from Mars. They weren't missiles or fighters. They were mining drones, maintenance bots, and transport pods, all flying in chaotic patterns that made no tactical sense. "Sir, they're jamming our communications with music," reported an officer. Human rock music blasted through every channel, making it impossible for the Council ships to coordinate. In the confusion, 3 Council ships collided with each other. Thomas watched from his station, directing the colony's bizarre defense. "Release the bubbles." From hidden locations across Mars' surface, industrial foam, normally used for building insulation, sprayed into space, hardening into clouds of tiny radar-reflecting bubbles that further confused the alien sensors. When the Council ships fired their weapons, most shots missed their targets entirely, hitting nothing but foam bubbles and empty space. The few that found targets discovered that the humans had covered vital buildings with simple but effective improvised armor, layers of mining waste and water ice that absorbed much of the energy. Meanwhile, a group of retrofitted mining ships approached the Council fleet from behind. Led by Thomas's friend Mike, the ships used industrial cutting tools to disable the engines of 3 alien vessels before the Council even realized they were under attack. "This isn't warfare," screamed the Council commander. "It's chaos." 2 hours into what should have been a simple conquest, the Council fleet retreated, leaving behind 5 disabled ships and having caused only minimal damage to the Mars colony. As they fled, Thomas sent one final message. "Thanks for the visit. Next time call ahead, and we'll prepare better refreshments." On the Council command ship, war strategist Dahl reviewed the battle footage with growing concern. "They defended a planet with mining equipment and construction foam," he said quietly. "Their tactics made no sense, followed no doctrine, yet they worked." Council scientist Rem nodded. "Because they weren't trying to win by our rules. Humans don't think like us. Look at their history. They've always adapted everyday tools into weapons when needed." Dahl studied the reports of human communications intercepted during the battle. Instead of organized military commands, they found jokes, movie quotes, and casual conversations, as if the humans were engaged in a game rather than fighting for their lives. "We need to rethink everything," Dahl admitted. "This won't be the easy victory we promised the Council." Back on Earth, Admiral Kate Foster received Thomas's report from Mars and smiled. "Phase 1 complete," she told her officers. "The Council now knows we're weird. Next, we show them we're dangerous." The real war was just beginning. 2 weeks after the Mars attack, the United Earth government finally issued its official response to the Galactic Council's declaration of war. Jack Wilson stood before alien representatives on a neutral space station and cleared his throat. After careful consideration, he read from a small note card, "Humanity acknowledges your declaration of war. We'll be happy to talk when you're ready to be reasonable. Until then, please try not to damage too much of our stuff. Thank you." The alien diplomats stared in disbelief. "That's it?" asked Ambassador Krell. That's your species' response to a galaxy-wide war declaration. Jack shrugged. We're kind of busy right now. The World Cup finals are this weekend. Back on Earth, life continued with surprising normality. News channels mentioned the war between weather and sports. Children included alien spaceships in their drawings. Late-night comedians told jokes about the Council's formal battle protocols. But beneath this casual surface, humans were preparing in their own unique way. Dr. Anna Miller worked in her lab, surrounded by pieces of alien technology salvaged from the Mars battle. She had discovered something fascinating about Council communication systems. They use perfect, structured signals. She explained to Admiral Kate, "No background noise, no variation. It's too perfect." "And that's a weakness?" Kate asked. Anna nodded. "Their systems can't handle messy signals. They filter out anything that doesn't match their patterns. If we send enough chaotic data, we can blind them." Kate finished with a smile. "Perfect." Kate named their strategy Operation Porcupine. Make humanity too prickly and annoying to attack rather than trying to win by force. On the Galactic Council's main world, the War Council gathered to discuss their next move. "The humans mock us," shouted one general, pounding his scaled fist on the table. "They treat our war like entertainment." War strategist Dahl studied reports from Earth. "What concerns me more is what they're not doing," he said. "No mass military buildup, no planetary shield construction, no evacuation of civilians." "Because they know they can't win," said another counselor. "Or because they're fighting a different kind of war," Dahl countered. "Look at these reports. Small groups of human ships have attacked our supply lines, then disappeared. They don't try to hold territory or destroy our fleets. They just cause problems." The Council decided to launch a major attack on Earth itself. 300 warships approached the blue planet, ready to demonstrate the true might of the Galactic Council. What they didn't expect was the complete confusion of their own ships. Human communications flooded their channels. Everything from pop music to cooking shows to nonsense data. Their perfect, standardized systems couldn't filter it out. Navigation computers received contradictory information. Targeting systems locked onto phantom signals. When the Council ships finally organized enough to approach Earth's orbit, they faced not a military fleet but thousands of small vessels, many clearly civilian, moving in patterns that made no strategic sense but were impossible to predict. Some human ships actually flew toward Council weapons fire, dropped packages that exploded in clouds of blinding material, then sped away. After 6 hours of frustration, the Council fleet commander ordered a retreat. "They didn't even use weapons," he reported to his superiors. "They just confused us." In her command center, Admiral Kate received reports of the Council's retreat with quiet satisfaction. "Phase 2 complete," she told her officers. "Now it's time for Phase 3. "What's Phase 3? A young officer asked. Kate smiled. "We start broadcasting human TV shows to every Council world. They already think we're strange. Let's show them just how strange we can be." Across the galaxy, alien civilizations were beginning to wonder if they had made a terrible mistake in declaring war on the bizarre creatures called humans. 6 months into the war, the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with angry voices. Leaders from hundreds of worlds argued as the Supreme Council tried to maintain order. "Silence," shouted High Counselor Mux, his voice booming through the chamber. "This bickering solves nothing." War strategist Dahl stepped forward, looking tired. "Esteemed counselors, I must report that after 6 months, we have made limited progress against the humans." "Limited?" roared a reptilian general. "We have made no progress. These primitives laugh at us." Dole displayed a hologram showing the current situation. "Humans have now adopted our technology and improved it in ways we never considered. They don't fight like a proper military. They fight like children playing a game," finished Council Scientist Rem. "But deadly children." The hologram showed a recent battle where Captain Bill Jones and his small mining ship had somehow captured an entire Council battle cruiser. The footage revealed Jones and his crew of 5 using nothing but industrial tools, homemade explosives, and what appeared to be cooking oil to disable the ship's systems and trap its crew. They boarded our ship using maintenance robots carrying bottles of common chemicals, Dole explained. When mixed, these chemicals created smoke that confused our sensors. Then he paused, embarrassed. They played loud music and flashing lights that disoriented our troops. The council chamber fell silent. "What do these humans want?" asked a counselor from the back. "That's the strangest part," replied Dole. "They've made no demands. They've taken no territory. They simply continue to annoy us." On Earth, Admiral Kate reviewed the latest success reports with her team. "The Council's starting to crack," she said, pointing to intercepted communications. "Their economy is struggling with a war they expected to last weeks, not months. And look at this." The screen showed alien news broadcasts where citizens of Council worlds secretly watched human entertainment. Earth movies, music, and games had spread across the galaxy despite official bans. "They're getting curious about us," said Anna Miller, now head of alien technology research. "And we've learned so much from them. Their medical technology alone has already cured 3 major diseases. So we're actually benefiting from this war?" asked a general. Kate nodded. "Humans thrive on challenges. The Council gave us the biggest one yet." On the Council homeworld, Ambassador Krell met secretly with representatives from 12 Council species. "This war is pointless," said a small bird-like alien. "The humans aren't trying to destroy us. They're just surviving our attacks." "And adapting," added another. "My people have studied their broadcasts. They're creative, resilient. They could be valuable allies instead of enemies." Krell nodded. "More Council members agree with you each day, but the military leadership fears losing face. To admit we misunderstood humans would be embarrassing." "More embarrassing than continuing to fail?" asked the bird alien. Their meeting was interrupted by an emergency alert. On the main screen, they watched in horror as a rogue Council general launched his fleet toward Earth with planet-killer weapons. "He's going to destroy their homeworld without approval," Krell gasped. "The humans won't survive this," whispered one alien. No one could. In Earth's Defense Command, alarms blared as sensors detected the approaching fleet. "They're bringing the big guns this time," said Captain Bill Jones, now a hero after his cruiser capture. Admiral Kate studied the incoming ships. "They're desperate. That makes them dangerous." "Should we evacuate?" asked a junior officer. Kate smiled. "No need. Remember those Council ships we captured? We've been studying their weapons, and Bill here has rigged up something special." Bill grinned. "Let's just say they're about to learn why you should never corner humans. We don't surrender. We get creative." As the Council Death Fleet approached Earth, humanity prepared its strangest defense yet. The rogue general's fleet approached Earth with planet-killer weapons ready. On his command ship, General Vark watched the blue planet grow larger on his screen. "These humans have mocked us for too long," he told his officers. "Today we end this embarrassment." His weapons officer looked nervous. "Sir, we don't have Council approval for this attack." "We don't need it," Vark snapped. "History will thank us for removing this dangerous species." As they entered firing range, something strange happened. The fleet's sensors detected thousands of small objects appearing around Earth, seemingly out of nowhere. "What are those?" demanded Vark. His science officer studied the readings. "They appear to be our own sensor drones, but that's impossible." Suddenly, their communication systems exploded with signals. On every screen, human faces appeared, ordinary people from Earth, smiling and waving. "Hello from Earth," said a young woman. "I'm Tina from Australia. I hear you want to destroy our planet, but I thought maybe we could talk first." Another screen showed an old man. "Hi there, I'm Frank from Canada. I've got some great maple syrup I'd love to share with your species." A third showed a family cooking dinner. "We're making tacos. Do your people eat food? You should try these." Every ship in the fleet received different transmissions. Humans showing their daily lives, telling jokes, offering friendship. "Shut it off," screamed Vark. "Fire the planet killers now." But when his weapons officer tried to activate the system, nothing happened. "Sir," reported his second-in-command, "something is wrong with our weapons. They're singing." From the planet killer's control system came a human song about peace and friendship. "They've hacked our unhackable systems," whispered the science officer in awe. "How is this possible?" Before Vark could respond, new ships appeared on their sensors, a mixed fleet of human vessels and council ships flying together. Commander Lisa Brown's voice came through on all channels. "General Vark, this is Earth Defense. We've been expecting you. As you can see, we're not alone." Ambassador Krell's voice followed. "General, stand down immediately. The Council has not authorized this attack. These humans have shown us a better way." Vark stared in disbelief at the joint fleet. "Traitors, you side with these primitives against your own kind. We side with intelligence and friendship over fear and destruction," Krell replied. "Your weapons won't work, General. The humans disabled them days ago, when you first started planning this attack." On Earth's Defense Command, Lisa Brown and Bill Jones watched the standoff with Admiral Kate. "Do you think he'll surrender?" asked Bill. Kate shrugged. "Either way, we've made our point. Dr. Miller's team did amazing work infiltrating their systems and showing them who we really are," added Lisa, pointing to the thousands of personal messages still streaming to the Council fleet. "Not warriors or monsters, just people." In his flagship, Vark faced the truth. His weapons were useless. Half the Council now supported humans. His own crew was watching human broadcasts with interest rather than fear. "Stand down," he finally ordered, his voice hollow with defeat. The next day, the full Galactic Council convened an emergency session. For the first time ever, human representatives were invited to attend. Council Scientist Rem presented her final report. "We fundamentally misunderstood humans," she explained. "Yes, they're adaptable and resilient in ways that seem frightening. But these traits developed for survival, not conquest." She displayed images of human history, not just wars, but art, music, medicine, and cooperation. "Their strength isn't their technology or their military," she concluded. "It's their diversity of thought, their creativity when faced with challenges, and their willingness to extend friendship even to those who threaten them." The council chamber erupted in debate. Some members still feared humans, but many more were fascinated by them. The galaxy would never be the same. 1 year after the war began, peace talks started on a space station halfway between Earth and the Council homeworld. The station's conference room revealed everything about how things had changed. On one side sat the Council representatives, stiff and formal in their ceremonial robes. On the human side, Jack Wilson had set up what looked like a backyard barbecue. A table held hamburgers, hot dogs, and drinks. Earth's negotiators wore casual clothes, and music played softly in the background. "Is this how humans conduct important diplomatic business?" asked Ambassador Krell, looking confused. Jack smiled. "We find people make better decisions when they're comfortable and well-fed. Help yourself to a burger." Slowly, the council representatives relaxed. Some tried the food. Others tapped their feet to the music. By the end of the first day, formal speeches had given way to actual conversations. On day 3, Earth's chief negotiator James Thompson laid out humanity's proposal. "The Galactic Council is based on fear," he explained, drawing on a simple paper napkin. "Big species control small ones. Strong worlds intimidate weak ones. That's not a community. That's a prison." He flipped the napkin over. "We suggest something new, the Galactic Cooperative. Every species equal. Decisions made together. Knowledge and resources shared. Impossible, said a council elder. Some species are naturally superior. Really? James asked. Humans can't breathe underwater like the Aquari. The Farron can survive radiation that would kill us instantly. The Vin can see colors we can't imagine. Who's superior? The elder fell silent. Different doesn't mean better or worse, James continued. It just means we all have something to contribute. By week's end, something remarkable happened. The Galactic Council, an institution that had ruled for 10,000 years, voted to dissolve itself. In its place, the Galactic Cooperative was born, with Earth as a founding member. 6 months later, Admiral Kate Foster walked through a busy spaceport on Earth. Aliens of every size and shape mingled with humans. Shops sold foods from 100 worlds. Children from different species played together in recreation areas. She met Jack Wilson at a cafe overlooking the main concourse. Not bad for a species that was facing extinction a year ago, Jack said, sipping his coffee. Kate nodded. Turns out our greatest weapon wasn't our technology or our military. It was our weirdness, Jack finished with a smile. Across the spaceport, they spotted Ambassador Krell talking with a group of human schoolchildren. The once stern diplomat was letting them touch his blue skin and showing them how his 4 eyes could look in different directions. The council species are still adjusting to how we do things, Kate observed. They'll get used to it, Jack replied. Most of them are already addicted to our entertainment. And have you seen how popular Earth tourism has become? Everyone wants to visit the crazy planet where people jump out of perfectly good aircraft for fun. A small alien child ran past their table, chasing the human boy in a game of tag. Both were laughing. That's the real victory, Kate said softly. Not just surviving, but showing the galaxy a better way to live. At another table nearby, Bill Jones shared drinks with the crew of a council ship he had once captured. Now they exchanged stories and laughed about their first battle. You really used cooking oil to disable our engines? Asked the alien captain. It was olive oil, actually, Bill replied with a grin. Extra virgin. Only the best for interstellar warfare. As the sun set over the spaceport, humans and aliens together watched the stars appear, not as distant threats, but as future homes and adventures waiting to be shared. The galaxy had declared war on humans. Humans had responded with friendship, and that had made all the difference.